This video is made for adult collectors because Skyquake dies as soon as he shows up. Spoiler alert. So the next bit of Prime toys in Legacy has come out, and they picked Skyquake. Interesting choice, but I'm so happy this came out as trying to get the old one is up. My dog went nuts. There she goes again. Skyquake was only in one episode, the one that seemed to pack into every Cyberverse Commander and Deluxe class back in the day, but it was a good episode. It was Masters and Students. This looks a lot more bang on to the original design, and I love it. They tried their best to keep the generation styling in, but also leaned super heavy into the Prime aesthetic more than the last three, so I'm happy with that. There is still certain details from the G1 Skyquake toy in here for the inevitable redeco, because we know that that is going to be coming out sometime soon, but it's not as intrusive as the others, and I love it. And what's also really cool is I have the original Dreadwing toy, and man, this new one is a very good size. The original figure was just lacking in Dreadwing's sense of swagger, and it needed a lot more paint, and it also has loads of issues, but same with the new mold. The new one has the shoulder and back issue, which is fixable, yes, but per the manual, it's really annoying. Nothing holds together, it's just floppy, and it's not nice to handle. There's also a lack of heels where he falls over a lot, especially with how the back sticks out. And I really wish the downward swooping wings were on this toy. Sure, you can fan mode it, but like, it doesn't work for me. It also looks kind of dumb. You do get his minigun and sword, which I like a lot. However, the sword he can only hold in one hand because of the way that there's like peg sculpting on it. It's so strange. Dreadwing, on the other hand, has weird rubber parts all over the place, a loose-ass head joint out of the box, horrible guns that I've lost. Oh, and this. It broke. And I didn't even touch it. This part snapped at the hinge, and I hadn't touched it in ages. I picked it up, it fell off, and I picked it up by the leg, and it fell off. The clear plastic on Prime toys was really brittle back in the day and would break so easily, but none of the clear parts here broke. That's a solid piece. I don't understand how that happened. I loved this mold too before it started breaking on its own. It's such a shame. The Legacy one, with its issues though, is still a better robot mode to me, but what doesn't help is I got Dragon Megatron right after this, and he is miles better. So the posing on both of these is drastically different. Skyquake is actually quite posable, where Dreadwing can't really do much with him. So Skyquake, you got your head is on a ball joint. You can do all sorts of stuff. It's on a slider, more for transformation, but I like to leave it back. Just sits a lot nicer for me. Shoulder pads can swivel, hinge, and on ball joints. They can pretty much go wherever you want to accommodate for the shoulder articulation. So the shoulder can rotate. I don't know why this is ratcheted. Really unnecessary, and it sounds horrible. Sounds terrible. And then you have a butterfly joint, so you can pretty much like position the shoulder wherever you want, and then just sort of get the shoulder pad over it, then cover it up. The backpack has moved again. This shoulder, it's really stiff. It makes a horrible sound. I don't like that. He does have a bicep swivel that the butterfly joint really starts to activate. Bicep swivel, double jointed elbows, and wrist swivels. Now the elbows are interesting because if you notice, they're asymmetrical, right? This one is a regular regular universal style elbow joint, whereas this one has like that extra block in there. And people are like, stop, the backpack keeps moving. People are like, why is that the case? Why does he have two different elbows? And I was thinking that too. And then I was watching the Skyquake episodes to prepare for this video, and I was like, he loses an arm in the show. Like, it falls off and crawls around. And so was this a gimmick originally that was going to allow you to remove the arm? And they just scrapped it because it's pinned, right? It's a pin that's going through it. So I don't know if they originally had planned for this to slot into the elbow and then slot out, and maybe it just didn't work, so they just made it a normal elbow joint but didn't change tooling at all. Because that makes the most sense to me, but I could be completely wrong. But that would have been cool to have like his arm fall off, but I don't see how they would have done it solidly on a leader like this. Anyways, he's got a waist joint. He does have slight ab crunch, but like, hips can go forward and back. Ratchet in and out. Again, they're those weird ones that make soft detents out and then loud noises coming back in. You do have thigh rotation. You have double jointed knees. And then the ankles tilt. Not very much. And he has no heels. There he goes again. I don't know how hard it is to give you, like, these fold out. But then this comes off and oh my god. This also doesn't peg in on mine. This one right here. It just comes right out. And it used to peg in when I got it originally, and now it doesn't. Yay, also the backpack's coming undone again. This idiot, Dreadwing, who I'm going to leave this piece off because fuck it. His head is rubber. Don't know why it's rubber. And it's really stiff. And the ball joint is actually made of clear plastic. And clear plastic on Prime toys for ball jointed necks is always a problem. First edition Cliff Jumper is a great example of that, so I have no hopes for this thing lasting any longer than like maybe a couple more years. Shoulder pads are on swivels on a ball joint. You can rotate the shoulders, they can go in and out. You got a bicep swivel, you can shift them down if you want. 90-degree bend at the elbow and wrist swivel. Nothing at the waist due to how he transforms because this like splits apart. And it comes apart way too easily, by the way. Hips can go forward only that far. They can go back quite far. They can go out. Thigh rotation, that's really limited, and if you rotate it this way, you can't really use the thigh rotation that much anymore. 90-degree bend at the knee, and the feet can go down. He's an old figure, wasn't really built for hyper articulation, but even with the articulation standard of the time, he still doesn't pose very well. So like, if you want one for posing, this is definitely a better option. But stand up, you moron. But at least Dreadwing has heels. Skyquake doesn't. So I hope when they redeco this guy into Dreadwing, they figure out a way to put heels back here, please. And then when they do the G1 version, because that's the G1 chest, I hope they can fix it. Transforming Dreadwing is a bit of a pain. Everything gets in the way of itself, and the broken part is super annoying. But by contrast, Skyquake is a lot better. While not perfect, it's still more fun to do. The unnecessary ratchets are annoying, but the rest of it is nice yet somewhat familiar to the original toy, which I think is pretty neat. Like the way they do the shoulder pads and stuff, that's like super original toy, which is awesome. Jet modes are sick. I think both of these look awesome. Skyquake still doing that very good fusion of G1 and Prime with the back details and the thrusters on the wings looking like that original toy. I don't have it anymore, unfortunately. Dreadwing's jet mode is nice too, but I don't like that the hips are just on the front. It's very intrusive to the design, and it's just like a big air block, so he's not gonna be able to fly. It's kind of dumb looking. But again, I prefer the Legacy one over this. Both are great, but to me it just looks and feels nicer. Even the plastic feels nicer because 2012 plastic wasn't very good because Battleship. And you can Evo Fusion, that's a descriptive word now apparently, needle nose to the top. Evo Fusion. It doesn't work. The robot does compress a lot into this jet, which is neat to see. The mass shifting is really impressive. The bottom isn't super clean, but it's uniform enough to look okay. But if I had to pick one out of these two, it's Legacy. Prime's has a lot of things I like, but its longevity really brings it down for me. Legacy Skyquake, though, doesn't have those problems. Like, it feels like it's going to last a lot longer, but I still wouldn't pay full price for it. It's nice, but it's not 76 Canadian dollars nice. If you can get it on sale, then I would highly recommend it. I know Target in the States seems to be doing sales a lot more often now, so I would highly recommend just waiting for one of those to pick it up. But it's not terrible by any means, but it's not the greatest. If you have the choice between this and Dragon Megatron all the fucking way. That thing is amazing. But that's my look at Legacy Skyquake and Transformers Prime Robots in Disguise Dreadwing. That's a mouthful. Follow me on Twitter and Instagram, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye.